Well, good morning. Who'd you talk to? What's going on? It is me. It is me. It's Mike Lepre, King Michael. This is legit fantasy football for legitpodcast.com. Here we go. It's week 2. We're going to bring everybody on, give you the winners, give you the winners by the spread, tell you who to sit, who to start. Basically, I went with green as our color because that's what we're doing for you. We're making you money. Joining me as always, Brother Ray. Good morning, Ray. How are you?
Going on, King? I might have to get the fire marshal over there. It looks a little smoky in the studio.
Nah, it's just I got a couple of nice cigars and I'm enjoying them. I'm not supposed to smoke cigars anymore, but she doesn't watch the show. So to me, when she starts watching the show, then she can bitch and complain. But I love her, and I don't mean it that way. Joining us, Genius Kev. What's up, Kev?
What's up?
You there?
What's up, guys? Just got back from Dublin. Dropped my daughter off at college. She's going to Trinity for 2 years. Interesting fact: Trinity College was actually founded in 1579, which means Brother Ray was probably only in his early 60s when they started it. Boom.
Ray, it's just
Early-
they don't stop.
Early 60s.
They don't stop, Ray.
Yeah, I drink the Guinness. I was drinking a Guinness when they were building that place. I remember.
Like a true Italian, you were standing on the side watching, drinking the Guinness, pointing out what they were doing wrong, pointing out all the little things they were doing wrong.
So before I bring on Matt, really quickly, I have to tell this. We were in Cancun, Mexico, and our friends Bert and Chris, cousins, they disappear. Right? We don't know where they are. They ended up getting chairs from like the bar area. They put them in the dirt where these guys were working, maintenance, and they just sat there bossing them around. Hurry up with the shovel, will you please? Jesus, you're doing it wrong. I came over, I couldn't stop laughing. These poor guys are just trying to work. The Mexican guys are trying to dig a hole and do something. And Bert and Chris got their chair right in front of them. Come on with that. Whoa, it was great. Speaking of great, Mastradamus M1. What's up, Matt?
Gentlemen, just ready to get to work and help the people. Got a lot of people in the inbox wondering what's going on. Want them to funnel here and to get it here. I'm going to stop trying to get people in my inbox and trying to have them funnel here. But we've been right. We were on fire last week, and we're ready to follow it up with another great week.
Here's the thing. So on the games that we were like excited about, we cleaned house. On the games where we were like, well, take this one, we didn't do so well. Like we literally did well on the ones that we were interested in, and the ones we weren't interested in kind of fell by the wayside. So it's weird.
That doesn't surprise me because that's why you don't bet all 16 games. Everyone knows it. Everyone knows this. You pick, like, I think I have about 6 games that I bet this week, and there's a bunch of good teaser opportunities and stuff. But there's some ones that you're just not going to touch. But we're doing picks for every game. But it makes complete sense to me.
All right. So do you guys want to review the Thursday night game, or do you want to leave me to my misery?
Let's put it in the back. Because I'll tell you right now, well, I guess we could touch on it. I went with Washington, and it was funny because I read that game wrong. I thought that the public money was with the Giants. It wasn't. It was actually with the Redskins. But there was one thing that I didn't take into account. It was Danny Dimes, and boy, oh boy, it really sucks to see a performance like he showed go to waste. And you can call it conservative play calling by the coach. You can call it whatever you will. Darius Slayton catches that ball. It's a wrap. Tough. Just a tough L.
Well, if you go back and watch the slow motion of the snap for the kick, Dexter Lawrence actually moves with the ball. So him and the ball move first. But they said when you go that fast and you jump it, if you time it perfectly, that the refs are going to err on the side of offsides, which...
Yeah.
I know
heard
that was
too.
That was a suspect call, but I heard a lot over and over that was clear offsides. And I don't want it to come down to that because it just sucks to see a yellow flag be the deciding factor in the game.
Well, that's the thing. So, Kev, did you see the video, though? He wasn't technically offsides, but...
Wasn't?
No.
He was not. Like, the Giants...
Yeah, but how about the Danny Jones up the sidelines? That was not holding.
That was
all the time, man. The officials decide the outcome of the game. No matter how you slice it. That was a touchdown, and they robbed the young man.
One thing I got to say about him is, and I keep saying it to my son, I watch him run, and he looks like the fastest man in the NFL when he runs because he runs by cornerbacks, safeties. Like he just runs by everybody. Like how fast is Daniel Jones when he runs scared? Because that's the difference. A 40 time is but if you're running scared, like I gotta get out of here, that dude flies.
Yeah. They had that run he had last year. I think they timed it. It was like the fastest run in the NFL, which is absolutely insane for I'll say it for a white quarterback. It's absolutely insane that was the fastest run in the NFL. I mean, like there's 40 times in this game speed, and Tyreek Hill has both. Daniel Jones has the game speed. It's crazy to watch. And that wasn't
times is not the problem, guys.
Yeah.
Joe Judge is the problem.
Joe Judge is the problem.
And guys, I've seen teams like this before. Teams that play stupid.
Yep.
Several of my Dolphin teams had that same look. Coach yelling at everybody on the sideline, always angry, being restrained, but no game plan.
That is an accompanying feeling. That isn't we're going to win. That is, alarms going off. That's not what you want to see from your leader.
So,
and the leader of the team is the coach, and you take on that persona. So if you have that, it's like a dog being walked around by a rabid owner. Like that dog will become rabid. That's the same thing as a football team.
Let me break it down. Good.
You got to go.
Sorry, the last thing I wanted to say about that is they had another special teams penalty earlier in the game, and he's supposed to be a special teams coach. And even I think at the end, you want to say maybe it shouldn't have been a call, maybe whatever, but it was called, and he's supposed to, especially it's supposed to be his forte. And when that's the area that you're racking up flags on, not a good sign as a head coach. And so I think the thing that's worse about it is we bust those chops a lot, and we go on the Giants hard because it's King's team. But it sucks to see that, and they're going to waste another year. Sadly enough, they're going to waste another year, and you're still not going to know exactly what you have from Daniel Jones.
All right, so two things. One, if they play the regular, well, three things. One, they're going to go either direction after this game. They're either going to win a couple games in a row, or they're just going to tank. I'm telling you, that's how the Giants always are. Secondly, I've coached kids, even up to AAU, and I know for a fact that when they look back at the coach, if I'm yelling and upset, that's what they feel. If I stay calm the whole time, even if shit's going wrong, then there's a calmness that comes over them. And so Joe Judge has made a lot of bad decisions. Not this game, but the first game, he called that challenge on something that you can't even challenge, and he lost the timeout. So it's just little things like that that I'm starting to go, oh boy. Because the thing is this: if Daniel Jones plays the way he did yesterday, Thursday, all year, but they still are horrible. How do you get rid of Daniel Jones?
Don't.
Right? You're in with 2 first-round picks. You go right now. The Giants, if the season were to end today, they have the number 1 and number 3 pick because the Bears are that bad. Yeah. So. But do you get rid of Daniel Jones? I don't think you do. I keep saying that to everybody. Like he can play the position. He just needs time. When he has time, he makes the right decisions. But the offensive line still isn't good enough for him to go deep, and that's Galladay's issue. Galladay's mad that he's not getting the ball deep, but Daniel's like, I don't have enough time. They got a
problem there. I'm glad you brought that up, King, because they got a problem there with like Galladay is saying, trust me, just throw it and I'll make the play. And Daniel's he's got the offensive line, which is part of the problem, but he doesn't seem to like to throw into contested areas deep. And I think he has to trust Galladay or I don't even know what the or is, or they're not going to be making big plays down the field.
He's worried about throwing interceptions. You can tell that he's worried about turning the ball over. So he's not throwing those 50-50 balls right now because all the pressure's on him. Let's see how they turn out. Again, I think that whole NFC East is going to be a slugfest throughout the whole year.
Yep.
Very quickly to touch on, and I don't want to blow the horn of the Patriots, but if there was any time that was calmness in the storm, it was the Seattle on the goal line, and Bill's looking over at the goal, the other side, and seeing that Pete Carroll was in disarray, and that was the calmness, and that portrayed down to the whole defense. They knew what to do, and they were calm in the storm, and that was against the biggest momentum.
All right,
they've been in that place before.
Let's start with the 1:00 game.
Sorry, just one other comment on the Thursday game. I'll do it fast. On the Washington side, I think they look, they look in spots, bad in spots, but people should not get too high on Heineke. He threw a lot of balls that were high, that were kind of outside and stuff. You got to win, good stats, if people are betting heavy into the Redskins, I would look to go the other way if they get too much momentum. But the guy to look for there, De'Ami Brown, he's running routes on almost every single play. It's not materializing yet into a ton of production, but if you want a deep waiver stash, pick up De'Ami Brown because he's running patterns on every single drop back, and that's what matters for rookies.
Agreed. All right, let us get on with the 1 o'clock games. Here we go. New England at the Jets. New England is -6. Over-under is 43. Matt, who do you like in that game?
I'm not going to be a homer here. It's going to sound like I am. Jets have an awful defense, right? They have problems with the O-line. I was thinking that this line was too big for a divisional game. It's not. It's going to be the Pats, and it's going to be the over. I look for this game to be like 27-13, something like that. It's not going to be much of a contest. Pats bounce back, but they also show a different side of offense this week. They're going to be more pass heavy. They're not going to be run heavy. They're going to attack the weakness of that defense. Mac Jones is going to look very good this week.
All right. Hey, speak up a little bit soft. All right. So you got Jets in the over. I mean, serious. I want to hear it. Kev, Pats game.
Yeah, I got Patriots and the over. Patriots, I liked the offense a lot last week. Unfortunately, they had that late fumble, but they ran a ton of plays. Mac Jones passed 39 times. Damian Harris ran it 23 times. It's already over 70 plays, not counting the other rushes and stuff in there. So they're playing a really fast pace. I think the Patriots offense is going to be a good one this year. I think all the roles are settled right now. You got 2 tight ends. They run the field a lot. Aguilar and Jacoby Myers are the 1 and 2 wide receivers. Damian Harris is going to be the number 1 running back. I think if you have Ramondre Stevenson, you're in trouble if you're dependent on him for anything because he blew. Not only did he fumble, but he blew a pass block that got Mac Jones hit, and that's the big thing. Everyone's talking about the fumble. It's when you can't pass block, Belichick sits you down. So I think the Patriots will win this one at the over. Jets. I'm actually optimistic on the Jets, but they, especially Corey Davis and Elijah Moore, but they just need time.
Right.
I want to follow up. Hold on. I want to follow up real quick. I do think D. Harris is the number 1 back there, but watch. It hasn't came out yet. Who's going to be active and not? J.J. Taylor will be in there. Yeah. He's going to steal about 6 to 9 totes from D. Harris. If you like the kid, he's got a little bit of bounce. He's good. Expect to see J.J. Taylor in there today.
Brother Ray?
Yeah, I agree with J.J. Taylor. I think he's going to play today, but don't give up on Stevenson because when it gets cold outside, after a couple games, he's going to be back. They just don't have the talent on that roster, so they are going to need him eventually. You got to love Belichick against a rookie quarterback. You always take Belichick against a rookie quarterback. Love the Pats and the over. Belichick was gushing about Wilson all week, which tells you he knows exactly what to do to take him apart.
I like that.
All right, so yeah. I go last, and unfortunately, this is where I switched the script. I think the Patriots are going to win this game. I don't like the spread of 6. I see the Jets scoring. The kid's going to throw a couple TDs today. Like I feel like that's going to be like his coming out party. Like this kid is actually he got better as the game went on. So I'm going to go with the Paperboy and the Jets and the over.
Yeah, and I watched that game last week because I watched it, and especially because against Carolina, he throws a really good deep. Like we all made fun of how young he looks and all that. He throws a really good deep ball. He's going to be. I hope with Salah there with him because he could be fun to watch for a few years. That's my thoughts. All right, moving on to the next game. Raymond, Broncos at the Jaguars. Broncos are favored by 6. The over-under is 45. Who do you like there?
I like the Broncos. I think they're a solid overall team. I think their defense is a lot better than Jags. I think this is a gift with the point spread. I think they don't miss a beat without Judy. I think Tim Patrick is one of my sleeper fantasy players this week. Every time he's in the game, he just produces. I love Denver, given the points, but I'm going to go with the under here.
Okay. Kev, same to you.
Yeah, so we on the podcast, we go back and forth on Jacksonville a lot. So I spent a lot of time looking at them last week. It's only 1 week. So a couple things there. Number one, I think Laviska Shenault is a guy we always go back and forth on. He's definitely a third wide receiver. His average depth of target last week was about 4 yards. And he only runs less routes than DJ Chark, who had a ton of deep passes, and Marvin Jones had a good game too. So I think Laviska Shenault. I know Brother Ray and I disagree on this one, but I'm gonna put again the stake in the ground that I think he's gonna be the third guy, a little bit of the odd man out. And in the backfield, I think James Robinson is a guy running the routes. Carlos Hyde is getting some carries, but the play split was almost 2-1 in favor of Robinson. So M1 and I disagree on this one. So that's why I'm kind of throwing the stake in the ground there. I think if you want to back, you go Robinson. If you want one of the wide receivers, you go Chark or Marvin Jones. But the real guy that could be interesting, very, very deep sleeper is James O'Shaughnessy, the tight end. He's going to be a PPR kind of monster this year. As the season goes on, if you really, really need a tight end, look there. My pick, I don't like the Broncos giving up that many points, but I'm going to go Denver, and I'm going to go the over. If you want, and again, Brother Ray and I go head-to-head on this, I like KJ Hamler as the wide receiver on the Broncos, but Noah Fant is going to suck up the targets vacated by Jerry Jeudy, but KJ Hamler is going to get on the field.
All right, Matty?
A lot of stuff there.
I got the Jaguars. I think the spread's too big. I think that the Broncos are a decent team. I think the Jaguars are trying to find themselves, but this is going to be a run fest. And I do agree with Brother Ray. I think it will be an under because of the run, cut the game in half. But if you like the under, then I think that you got to like the 6 points with the Jaguars. I also believe that in this league, it's like the ocean and the waves. You kind of go against what you saw last week. I think the Jaguars are going to suck a lot of people into just keep on attacking the Jaguars. People are going to try to bet against the Jaguars because of what they've seen. Jaguars 3-point game. I don't know if the Jaguars win this game outright, but it's going to be a close game. But I could see the Jaguars actually stealing this game.
So I'm going to go with, I think exactly what Brother Ray said. I like the Broncos and the under. And the reason I do is because the Broncos are actually a good team. They have studs on defense. They have a good offense. And Jacksonville is still a college team in my books. That's how they're playing.
Thing with Jacksonville, kind of you guys all mentioned it. Urban Meyer does not look super comfortable on the sideline. We talk about coach setting a tone. I don't think he's setting the right tone yet. He's actually moving up the board, the wager board on first coach fired. He won't be because Shad Khan loves him, but he is actually moving up.
All right, so I'm going with the Broncos in the under. So all right, let's go back to Kev, Buffalo at Miami. Buffalo's minus 3.5. Over under is 48.
Yeah. So quick thing on this one. This is one of those games where it's really important to look at the lines on Sunday night and early Monday morning, because I bet Buffalo minus 3 and 3.5. Big difference. Obviously, field goal versus not. So I'll still go Buffalo minus 3.5. Buffalo has Miami's number. They tend to just lay tons of points on the Dolphins. Look at the games last year. That Week 8, 17 game, they scored 59 with when it didn't even matter to them. The week game before that, they scored a ton of points. So I'm going to say Buffalo rights the ship. The thing that worries me most about them is they completely gave up on the run game last season, and this year, instead of kind of reverting a little bit back to it, they gave up on it even more. And they barely ran the ball in that game against the Steelers. And I don't think that's sustainable long term. I also call a little bit of a regression for Josh Allen, which happened. Hope that, but anyway, long story short, Buffalo and I'll go to over.
All right, Ray, to you, Buffalo, Miami.
I mean, I got to agree with Genius. Buffalo has had their number the past couple of years, even when Josh Allen wasn't playing well. I mean, last year he played well, and they crushed them both times they played him. I like getting the 3.5 at home, to be honest with you. I think that half point makes a big difference. And I think, a lot of the things Miami did in the offseason were to beat the Bills. That was the team they were focusing on. I like what Waddle has added. And a sleeper player today, Mike Zuziki. A lot of people are down on him. He didn't have a catch last week. He's going to be a big part of the game plan today. If you're looking for player props, Mike Zuziki today. I like the Dolphins getting 3.5. I think at the very least they lose by 3.
Do you like the under or over?
I'm going to go with the over.
Dolphins in the over. Matt?
I think that Miami wins this game outright. I think that if you look at Gesicki, he's the best running back in this game. He's very, very hard to bring down.
We're talking about Gaskin?
Miles, what did I say?
Zuziki, tight end.
Oh, yeah. No, Myles Gaskin, best running back in the game. Miami just beat New England at home. I think they're flying high. They got out of there with Tua not looking so well, but the Buffalo defense is not as good as the New England defense. I also believe that the Buffalo defense is still there for taking. And like I said, I was going to say Gesicki again. Myles Gaskin, he's going to slice up that defense. Look for Miami to win this game outright. Over, under?
Yep. Yep.
Over, under, I would go. What's the over, under? What's it
48. 48.
That's pretty low. Yeah.
I'm going to go under.
All right. Dolphins in the under.
Well, it's interesting that I'm just curious. I'd like your like Brother Ray and Master Ramos' thoughts on this. Is the Buffalo offense? They're using Emmanuel Sanders as like that deep guy. Like they don't have John Brown, and obviously two different types of players. I thought Gabriel Davis was going to slide into that role. Instead, they go in Emmanuel Sanders. I'm a little surprised by that. You guys think he's worth a play or anything, or is it just kind of
not Davis today? Not today. I do also want to follow up, right? Will Fuller.
Yeah.
Having mental issues. If you got Devontae Parker out on the free agent, I just picked him up today in one of my leagues. He is their number one.
Yep.
He should not be in the free agent market. Now that Will Fuller might never play again, pick him up.
All right. I'm gonna go with Buffalo. I had a -3, so I was all over them when I saw them. But I'm still gonna go Buffalo -3.5 in the over. I think it's gonna be a shootout, but I think Buffalo was embarrassed last week, and they are gonna try to lay as many points on the Dolphins as they can. That's literally how I see that. So I'm gonna go with the Buffalo and the over. Now move to San Fran at Philly. San Fran is favored by 3. Over under is 49. I'm gonna take the first shot on this one. I really like Frisco today. I know it seems like I'm just going against the Eagles, but I honestly like Frisco in this game. I think Philly can put up some points. That's the other issue. So I'm going to go with Frisco in the over. It's -3, and the over-under is 49. Right to you.
Yeah, you know what? This is a game I would not bet because I really like the Eagles in this game, and I'd almost be scared to bet them, but they looked really good last week. Their defense played extremely well.
They played the Falcons.
Amen.
Doesn't matter. They were focused. They ran the ball. They passed the ball. The quarterback was in command of that offense.
They played the
The
Falcons.
offensive line is back. And San Francisco, let's be honest, they dominated early, but then they let the game get away from them. So I don't know. If I'm going to bet this game, I'm going to take Philly in the points.
All right, over or under?
I'm going to go with the under.
Ev?
This is going to be a really good game. I think Philly played great last week. I think Philly's rewriting the narrative on their season. I had no idea who Nick Sirianni was. I thought he was going to be a joke of a coach, but he's got them. The offense looked great. They played 2 different halves of football, which is tough to do. Very few coaches can do that. When they had the lead, they kind of changed their style completely. Jalen Hurts looked good. I don't want to get too much in the Philly backs. I think San Francisco's a very good team too, but part of me is starting to wonder what the hell's going on with Kyle Shanahan. Like, everyone's talking about Brandon Ayouk is going to be amazing. He's going to do this. He's going to do that. They basically have him as their third wide receiver. He doesn't even get a target. They draft Trey Sermon in the 3rd round. He's inactive. Like, he was all over Dante Pettis a year ago. Nothing. He's gone. He signed Jerick McKinnon for big money. McKinnon gets hurt. He's gone. I think we got to sort of temper the whole Shanahan's a genius whole narrative and watch them play. But I do think San Francisco will still pull this off, especially at -3. And I'm gonna go the under.
Did somebody that calls himself a genius just question someone else being a genius?
Well, look, I'm trying to knock a few people out of the club because everybody I knock out, I move up 1 rank.
Yeah, all right. That's what it was. Matt, we got to get a little quicker. We got to get a little quicker.
I love San Francisco in this game. I think it's a gimme. It's easier to look good when you play against the 31st ranked defense Philly did last week. I called for Philly to look good last week. They're not going to look good this week. Last week when you seen Jared go off against that San Francisco D, that's because he can read defenses. That's something that Jalen Hurts cannot do. He looked great against a horrible Dallas Cowboys defense last year. In the second half, they clamped down on him. That's because he can't read defenses that well. I looked at nothing but game tape on Elijah Mitchell, and I'll tell you right now, kid was from Sunbelt division. He led that division. Of course, they don't have defense. 6.7 yards a carry. But the big key on that is the yards after contact. I watched nothing but tape on him preseason and the first game of the year. Very hard to bring down. People want to say, oh, they do run by committee. That is the bell cow. And he is started over Trey Sermon because he's just better. And sure, he was taken in the 6th round. Trey Sermon was taken in the 3rd. Elijah Mitchell is the bell cow. San Fran wins easily today.
Over under.
What is the over under?
They're at 49.
You know what? I would go under because I think it's going to be more of a run fest. I don't expect Philly to score that point. So I would take San Fran in the under.
All right.
And
All right.
San Fran's number 1 cornerback is out for the year, so look for a nice Devontae Smith game. If you're debating starting him, get him in your lineup today.
All right.
Yes.
Back. We got to pick up the pace. We're on game 4. We got 15. Rams going to Indy. Rams are favored by -3.5. Over under is 47.5. Kev, who do you like?
This is a tough one because Rams look good against Chicago, but the 4 of us could probably look okay against Chicago. So I am going to go. I thought Wentz looked decent, so I am going to go Indy and the over. So I'll go quick.
Right.
Rams.
Under over.
I'm going to go with the over.
Oh, all right. Maddie?
I'm going to go with Indy in the under. I think there's 2 good defenses here, and I don't like that spread. I think it's inviting a lot of people remember about the Rams, and they're going to take the Rams. Indy's going to cover that or win the game outright. Indy in the other.
Yeah, so that's the second game that I'm on that like that. Like I like Indy to win outright on this one. I think that's a bad spread, 3.5. But the 47.5, I like over. Like I think it's going to go over. I think those teams score for 24 points apiece. So I'm going to go Indy and the over. Moving on to Pittsburgh. It is the Raiders at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's -6. Over under is 46.5. I'm going to stop with this one really quick. I don't think you see the same team out of Pittsburgh as you did last week. And I think the Raiders are going to prove that they're more legit this week. I like the Raiders in this game. I even like the Raiders outright in this game going into Pittsburgh. So I would take the Raiders getting 6, and I like the over 46.5. Kev?
I don't like the Raiders at all. I'm going to go Pittsburgh here. I think Pittsburgh is for real. I think everyone remembers their fade last year. They don't remember how much talent they actually have. Najee Harris had played 100% of the snaps last week. He's their guy. They have the 3 wide receivers. The 2 tight ends scored last week, and their defense was awesome. TJ Watt is going to have a monster game today. And the Raiders, I still think the Raiders are frauds. So I'm going Pittsburgh, even though and I'll go the over.
Amen.
Yeah, I mean, this is a tough one. I think the Raiders turned the corner last week, but the problem is they're coming off a short week with a Monday night game, and Jacobs is not going to play today. And I don't think Peyton Barber is the same running back. So I want to go with the Raiders here, but with the short week and with Peyton Barber in there instead of Jacobs, I have to go with the Steelers here.
Over under.
I'm going to go with the under.
Matt. You with us? You going?
He just dropped out.
All right. Let me just add in a little bit to this. I don't like using week 1 as the only telltale sign. And plus, I'm not worried about short rest early in the season. If it was later in the season, that's when the short rest starts to get to me. I really think the Raiders lumped them up in this one. Like I really like the Raiders for some reason in this game. Maddie?
I am with the King. This is one of my locks of the day. I love the Raiders in this game.
Stream.
What's that? I'm in. Hey, I love the Raiders today. I'm with the King. I think this is way too big of a point spread. Like I said, with the Buffalo defense, I think they were easily exploitable. With the Raiders today, it's not going to be the same. And without a good running game, listen, Najee Harris didn't look too good last week, and that was against a run defense that you should have looked good against with Buffalo. Raiders, and I'm not sure that they win, like King says. Could they? Yes, but this spread is way too big. Over under, what was it?
46.5.
You know, I'm going to go with the under here. I think it's going to be an under.
Raiders in the under.
Raiders in the under.
Let's move on to Chicago. Heading out to Chicago. Ray, Cincinnati at Chicago. Chicago's -2. Over under is 44.5.
Can we, King, before we get into the picks on this one, can we talk about this spread? And I've been thinking about this one for the last 3 days. I wanted to ask M1 because I know he's a Vegas guy. He follows the wise guys. How the heck is Chicago favored?
Because it's a sucker spread. Cincinnati is not that good. They beat a bad team last week, and they will lose today. Everyone remembers how bad the Bears looked against the Rams. The Bears win easy. This is one of my locks of the week, and it's because of the spread, Kevin.
Let me tell you something. It's already gone to 2. I got it earlier this morning at 1.
This is like one they want everyone to bet Cincinnati.
Fact.
It's crazy. So sorry, brother, I cut you off, but I had to ask because it jumped out.
Chicago minus. You're taking Chicago. You're taking Chicago -2. What do you like on the over under 44.5? 44.5 over under.
44.5, huh? I'd go over with this one, but yeah, over.
All right, Kev.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Chicago also, and over under. I'm going to go over, but the real thing you want to look at for this one is the Cincinnati team total over because it's like 20.5 right now, and I don't see them have a problem against 21. So I'll probably bet the Cincinnati team total over, but I'll go with the over overall.
Sure. So you're going Chicago over, right?
Yeah.
All right, Ray.
I like the Bengals in this game. This may be Andy Dalton's last game. It is against his old team, so there is the revenge factor there. But I think this is the last time that he's going to play this season for the Bears. It may even be a first half. I'll take the points with the Bengals.
Over under 44.5?
I'll go with the over.
It's never that easy.
On my pick, so here's what I think. And I think it is going to be that easy. And I think they're trying to make us believe that it's not going to be that easy. I think Cincinnati beats Chicago. I think Chicago is just not a very good team. Cincinnati might not be a very good team, but they're going to put more points on the board than Chicago is. Like that's just what I see. I like Cincy in the over. I don't know. I think that this spread, now that it's going up more to Chicago, now it was -1 this morning, now it's -2. I like Cincy. I like Cincy getting the points. All right. Next game would be Houston at Cleveland. Ugh, man, I wouldn't watch this game if you paid me. Cleveland's favored by 13, which is odd because over-under is 48. It's a weird spread. Like to win by 13 and have 48 as the over-under is kind of odd. Kev, who do you like in this?
It's a tough one. I think we all know Cleveland's a better team. I think they'll probably come out and stomp them, but that is such a humongous spread. Like you get some backdoor field goal at the end, they win by in Houston loses by 10, they cover. So for that reason alone, I'm going to go with Houston. The only thing I wanted to bring up from a fantasy perspective, I'm going to go Houston on the over, is Brandon Cooks. All that guy does is produce everywhere he goes. Why is he on like his fourth team in 6 or 7 years? I don't really, because he was New Orleans, New England, LA. And now he's in Houston, and like all the guy does is produce. He had 132 yards last week. Is he just like a head case? Is he a cancer? But anyway, I'll go with Houston and the over.
Raymond.
Yeah, Cooks just can't stay out of the tub. I mean, he's a lot of injury concerns. That's what hurt him early on, and he's not a true number one. Excellent number two, elite number two when he was in his prime. Having said that, I mean, Cleveland should crush them in this game. But I think you have to take Houston. I think Tyrod Taylor will keep it close. They'll be slinging the ball. I'll go with Houston plus the 13, and I will also go with the over.
Matt.
I love anytime the points are above 10 points, and you got to go with Houston here. This is the NFL. Over under, I think it's kind of going to be an under because the way that Houston kind of plays offense is a little bit more gadgety. And I think that will kind of cut the game in half, like I always say. I'll go Houston and the under.
Yeah, this is not a fun spread for me to look at because I really believe that Cleveland wins, but do they win by 13? Right? That's the one that bothers me a lot. Houston looked good last week, but they're not a good team, right? They're not. And Cleveland, by some of you guys, think they're going to go to a Super Bowl. So there's a big disparity between the two teams. I would never bet this game in a million years. Let me just say that first. But if I did, I would go Cleveland in the over. Because if it's going to end up being what it's going to be, Cleveland should just drop like a bunch of points on this team really fast. So Cleveland in the over. Next game, New Orleans at Carolina. New Orleans is favored by 3.5. Over under is 45. Matt, what do you like in that one?
This is one of my locks of the day. New Orleans. Over under. I really haven't given it much thought. I would have to say over. I think Jameis Winston is going to be on a tear. Carolina's not going to be able to hang with that defense.
I agree with Kev.
Last week was very interesting for both of these teams. Number one, I think Carolina's offense was not nearly as productive as I thought it would be against the Jets. They started out hot, and then it all kind of fizzled out. And I think as a fantasy person, you got to realize now with Carolina, you got Christian McCaffrey, you got DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson almost gets very few targets now, and Terrace Marshall, the rookie, is not going to get anything. So if you're holding on to Anderson and Marshall, I think you're going to be in for, and you're expecting them to be big contributors to your fantasy team. I think you're going to have a problem there because their offense they run so many short plays. Obviously, if McCaffrey's your guy, you either do handoffs or you're doing short passes. So they run just all the short stuff. In New Orleans, they have a phenomenal offensive line. I think if you have Alvin Kamara this season, he's going to rack up a zillion rushing yards. So you put all that together, I think this game is going to be slower paced than most people think, especially because New Orleans doesn't have any legit wide receivers. So I think the game's going to be slower paced. I'm going to still go. I'm going to go New Orleans, and I'm going to go the under. But it's not going to be any kind of 38-point game like they did last week for New Orleans.
Raymond?
My lock of the week, take the Panthers. Take the Panthers in the points. I think they win this game outright. Their defense played actually pretty well last week, produced a lot of turnovers. They're balanced on offense now. I think, give him another week, give Darnold another week. I think he's going to get better. I think this is a trap game for the Saints. I love Carolina at home.
All right. With my pick on that is I don't think there's such a thing as a trap game with Jameis Winston. I think Jameis Winston is just going to throw the ball as much as he possibly can if you put him in the lineup. And again, I like Jameis going to Carolina. I like the fact that he's going to go play down in Carolina. It's him against Darnold. I think they both have offenses that can score points. I like the Saints a lot in this with the over. All right, moving on, I guess, to the 4 o'clock games. And look at the time. Right at 38 minutes. Exactly where we want to be to start the 4 o'clocks. Here we go. Minnesota's going to Arizona. Arizona's minus 3.5. The over-under is 50.5. Let me start off this one. This is another upset I can see happening. I can see a letdown from Carolina, and I can see Minnesota staying in the game.
Arizona.
3.5. I think the half helps. I'm going to go with the upset. I'm taking Minnesota plus the points, but I'm going to go over 50. So, Matt, go ahead. You can disagree.
Absolutely. I'm going to disagree. I think Arizona showed you what they did to Tennessee. Like, people are like, what happened with Tennessee? Arizona is going to make a lot of teams look like shit this year. And I really believe this is a lock. Minnesota's a bad team. They lost to Cincy. Cincy's a bad team. Arizona is not a bad team. Take Arizona.
Over under
points.
50.5.
Under.
Ray.
Yeah, I gotta go exactly what M1 said. I love Arizona in this. Minnesota gave up a lot of big plays last week, and we know Arizona can produce a lot of big plays. So I don't see them containing Murray at all. I will say Minnesota is a good road team, so that does give me some pause. But their defense did not show it last week. So Arizona, and I'm going to go under as well.
Yep.
King, I'm on your side with this one. I'm going Vikings and the under. I think it would have been Minnesota could have won that game last week very easily, and I think everyone's opinion would be vastly different than it is now. Everyone's like way off Minnesota because they lost week 1, but they could have easily won that game if they beat the Bengals. Say the score was flipped and they won before it went to overtime. You'd look at this game entirely differently, and they got some weird calls and all that stuff. So I don't think Minnesota's as bad as people think. I still don't like Cliff Kingsbury. I don't think Arizona's as good as people think, so I'm going to go Vikings and the under. I think it's a statement game for Minnesota.
All right. Moving on. Matt, we'll start with you on this one. Atlanta's going to Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay's favored by 13. The over-under is 51.5. Who do you like?
It's Atlanta. Atlanta looked like trash last week. They're not going to look like that this week. Tampa Bay has a bad pass defense, one of the worst in the league. Was that because of Dallas had a lot of weapons? I don't think so. I think Atlanta covers that spread, and over under, I'd say over.
All right, Ray.
In this one, I like Tampa Bay giving the 13. I think they're going to run the ball all over Atlanta. I don't think Brady's going to have a big day. I think they're going to try and run the ball as much as they can. I like them giving the 13. I think they shut Atlanta down completely. I just don't like the way Atlanta's built. I mean, you look at Davis and you got Cordell Patterson backing him up. Ryan did not look good. The offense didn't look good. And without that offense, I mean, their defense is bad. I like Tampa giving the points. I'll go under.
50. All right. 50.
Under.
Who's left? Kev? He's not there. All right. I'll do mine then. I love Tampa Bay in this game. I think Tampa Bay wins by 13, but I think it's under 51.5. I think Brady, to say that it's going to be just a run type game, Brady wants to throw. If Brady wants to throw, Brady's going to throw. You ain't stopping Brady from throwing. So Brady's going to throw a couple touchdowns. Again, I'm going to go with Tampa and the under. Kev?
Yeah, I didn't hear what everyone said, so I was disconnected, so I'll just keep it quick. It's a ton of points, so I'm going to go with Atlanta and the over. I think Atlanta looks terrible right now. I think Calvin Ridley is going to be exposed. It's not a true number one. I think he made his living with Julio Jones. I think as the season goes on, people are going to step away from him a little bit. But anyway, I'm going to go Atlanta and the over.
Kevin, if you look at last year, the times that Julio Jones was out of the lineup, Calvin Ridley did better.
He did. He had some good games, but I think as the season wears on, I wish we should write this stuff down because like all the stuff. I want to see like how the season actually plays out because I have a lot of calls on a lot of players this year.
How about we just record it on one of our shows like we are now, and that's better than writing it down.
Okay, you can go back to and watch it all.
Best route runner in the NFL, Calvin Ridley.
All right, going to Seattle. This one is another upset that I love. Tennessee's going to Seattle. Seattle's favored by 6.5, and the over/under is 53.5. Matt, who do you like?
I'm with you, King. The spread's too big, and everybody remembers what happened last week. Tennessee's still a good offense. Mike Vrabel's a good coach. I think, like I said earlier, Arizona's going to make a lot of teams look like shit. Seattle's not going to make Tennessee look like Arizona. And I'm opposite of what Kevin says. Arizona's not going to be exploited. It's time to start talking about them being a Super Bowl contender.
All right, so Tennessee. Who do you like, Tennessee, though, or Seattle?
I love Tennessee with that points.
Over/under 53?
It's going to be an over. I think both offenses are going to score, but that is Tennessee. Tennessee could win the game outright.
Kev?
No.
Oh, gosh.
I think he's going to go with Seattle, but Ray, who do you got?
Yeah, I got to go with Seattle here. I like their defense. It's a cheap DFS play. If you put them in the lineup, I mean, Tennessee has shown us nothing with that new offense. Until they do so, I am not on Tennessee at all. I'm going to take Seattle at home, given the points, and I'm also going to go with the over. I think this will be a shootout.
All right. Kev's connecting, so I'll make my pick really quick. Love Tennessee today. Absolutely love Tennessee. Outright, I love Tennessee, period. 6.5 is a huge spread for that game, and we're just going by week one. We're just going by week one. I like Tennessee to cover the spread, but I like the under. So I'm going to go Tennessee and the under. Kev, are you back in?
Yeah, I'm going to go Seattle. Seattle on the under. I don't think Tennessee. I think Tennessee's going to be in for a long season this year.
Matt, let me ask you this: do you see that that a lot of the picks are being influenced by just that week one?
Yeah, I think it's the same thing as every year. I think that we're short-minded. I said it earlier to you guys. Humans are like fish. They bite the hook, they let go of it, and then they're like, "Oh my God, piece of food!" Arr! And they take the hook again. Short-minded, and people continuously go with what they just last saw. I love Tennessee today. It's an easy call. I wouldn't call it one of my locks, but it's almost there.
All right. So we got out of that game, I think. Yep. So now we're at
just one last thing. I have to rebut that because I'm not saying Tennessee because of week one. Tennessee had a terrible defense last year. They lost their offensive coordinator. I think they're a team that's in trouble. Like a Julio Jones, who looks like he's getting a little dusty. I don't know if he's dusted yet, but he looks a little dusty. And Derrick Henry's had 370 carries 2 years in a row. Those are all my reasons for Tennessee, not because they got embarrassed week one. I think that's why they got embarrassed.
Okay, your rebuttal is
Rebuttal
observed,
he's
and
gone.
now you're gone. Dallas he comes in to make his rebuttal and just jumps. Dallas at the Chargers. Chargers are -3. 55 is the over/under, right?
How about them Cowboys?
Mhm.
I like the Cowboys getting the points in this game. The Chargers were weak last week. They did not show me anything. They came back. They got the W. Williams looked better. Keenan Allen's still a stud, but I don't know. I like Dallas. I like the way Dallas played in that Thursday night game against Tampa Bay, and they almost came out with the victory. I'm taking Dallas with the points.
All right, but what about the 55 and over/under?
I'm going to go under.
All right, Matt.
This is a coin flip on the two teams. Over under, I think, is an easy over. I think both of them can score. I think both of them have problems on defense, so they're both going to score. I like the Chargers more than I do the Cowboys, but I could see the Cowboys in the over.
All right, Kev.
M1, stop cutting the cable line to the house. I see you parked outside. Stop. This one, I think the over is like the public play, but I don't see how either of these teams stops each other. So I'm going to still go with the over. Dallas doesn't have La'el Collins. He's suspended for a few games. So Joey Bosa is going to have a monster day today. So that's going to be fun to watch. But still, I don't think the Chargers are ready to beat this Cowboys offense. So I'm still going to go Dallas. Dallas and the over.
All right. So we have something with Cowboys under, Cowboys over, 2 with the Cowboys over, and I'm going to take the Chargers because I think the Chargers will stay close in this game and they'll win. I think the Chargers are better than the Cowboys. The NFC East is just not good, and I think that's what we're going to find out today. The NFC really is just not that good. So Chargers and a shootout over Cowboys. Ray, really quick, I have Carolina for you, but I don't know if you wanted the over or under in the Carolina game.
I think I was going with the over in that game.
Okay. Moving on to the next game, I guess. We got KC going to Baltimore. KC's -3.5. Over under is 53.5. Kevin, let's get it from you before you disappear again.
Yeah, I'm gonna go KC, and they got to go the over. I don't know how this one stays under. I think Baltimore with the running back situation, they have problems. What's his name? Tyson Williams, whatever it was. He and Lamar Jackson are like fighting for the ball and the read option. That's not going to work. They got Devontae Freeman there. I think Baltimore's some problems there. I think Baltimore's has more injuries. KC gets Tyrann Mathieu back this week. They also get Frank Clark back this week. Neither one of those guys played in week one, and no one even mentioned it, and they still beat Cleveland. So I think it's going to be scary to see Baltimore start the season 0-2, but I think that's what's going to happen. I wish the line was a field goal or less. I wish a lot of things. That's not the case, but I'll still go Kansas City and the over.
Raymond?
Chiefs in the over. It's going to be nice to see the Ravens 0-2. Going to happen to a better coach, John, preseason champ Harbaugh.
Matt?
It's tough, right? Because this is going to be a big day where they're going to miss Marcus Peters. I think the Ravens really want to cut this game in half. Like I say many times, they like to run the ball. This is kind of a sucker spread. I feel like the Ravens cover under. I could see the Ravens upsetting and winning outright.
So you want the Ravens under?
Ravens in the under, and I could see the Ravens straight up winning.
All right. I'm going to go with KC and the under. I'm not going to give my reasoning. You just see it happen. The Monday night game, I do not have the spread. Does anybody have the spread on them for Monday night? Detroit, Green Bay. Right?
I don't have it.
Kev, do you have the spread? Kev, do you have the spread for Detroit, Green Bay?
Yeah, hold on. It's Detroit minus 11.5. Sorry, yeah, Detroit minus 11.5. Green Bay minus 11.5. Over under is 48.5.
All right, so Kev, who do you like?
I like the Packers. I bet it at 10.5. Again, line movement, but I just think that Green Bay has to reestablish themselves. I think Detroit got all those weird points towards the end of the game against San Francisco. I think Detroit runs a crazy offense. It's all running back and tight end. It runs through those two positions, which is not normal in today's NFL. So I think Green Bay reestablishes themselves. They win, and it's Monday night. It's going to be an oval.
Over. All right.
Yeah.
Ray?
Green Bay in the over. I still don't think Detroit's a good football team. They did play scrappy at the end of that game last week. I think Green Bay gets back on track. They will run the ball at will. I like Green Bay in this.
Matt, let me ask you this. Detroit looks like ass. Everyone's expecting Aaron Rodgers to bounce back week 2, right? Why is it 11.5? Like, what are they trying to do with it?
I think that Detroit was more scrappy than what we've seen out of the Green Bay Packers. You got Aaron Rodgers contemplating retirement. There are already players saying if you're contemplating retirement, you're retired. There's something wrong with Aaron Rodgers.
Yep.
I got Detroit all day.
And over or under?
What is the over under? Kevin?
48.5.
I'm going to go under. A lot of unders today.
But that comment, there's something wrong with Aaron Rodgers. Perfect. People are saying that for years and years and years and years. And I think this season could be the season it finally all just falls apart. Like
it could be the reason why he was drafted so late in the. People probably talked with him. They're like, "What's wrong with this guy?" Like tremendous talent, but are you operational? Can you be coached? I don't think he can, and I think that there's problems. And just almost like a head coach, people look to the quarterback, and I think that there's a problem there.
I'm gonna match you, Matt, with I like Detroit and the under. I don't like that spread. I think there's something about this game that we're not looking into. All right, so Ray, do you have any fantasy people you'd like to let everybody know to sit or to start?
Yeah, actually, we're going to go with bargains and bounce backs, okay? And we talk about not judging the world by week 1. We talk about that with the point spread. It's the same thing with fantasy. Bounce back this week, Mike Evans, okay, was blanked last week. Brady is going to target him. He's going to get at least 1 touchdown today. That's a given. Brady is going to make it a point to get him involved. I like Kyle Pitts this week. I think Kyle Pitts is going to bounce back again. 1 week, everybody's already thrown him, in the waste paper basket. I think he rebounds today because it's going to be a pass-heavy script for them. They're going to be behind the whole game. Another guy I like is Woods from the Rams. Last week was Cooper Kupp. You know how the McVay offense is. This week it's going to be someone else. I think it's going to be Woods. I like Zeke in a bounce back. I think Zeke has looked good. And again, the game script did not dictate him last week. I think this is going to be a different game. I love Zeke, and you can get him pretty cheap in DFS. Brandon Ayook, he's going to play this week. He had 1 week in the Shanahan doghouse. He's going to be the number 1 receiver today. He's the best receiver on that team. No offense, Debo. He's someone else that you can get cheap in DFS. We talked about Mike Zuziki. I talked about him earlier. He is going to bounce back today. He will get at least 1 touchdown. He's very cheap. As far as bargains, we already talked about Tim Patrick. Whenever he's in the game, he just produces. He is going to be the number 2 today. Hamler will be out of the slot. Hamler's the big play guy, but Patrick is a safe floor. I like Brian Edwards too. I think we saw the potential of Brian Edwards last Monday night's game. Now, if they can just do that from the first quarter, I think he can make a big difference in that offense, take some of the heat off of Waller. Also for tight ends, Genius, you mentioned Shaughnessy. He has a great floor. He's going to get the targets, and Lawrence loves to go to him. I also like Tyler Higbee a lot. He's the number 1 tight end in that offense. He's going to get all the snaps, and Stafford targeted him in the red zone last week. I think he gets 1 this week. I really like him, and I like the Seahawks defense for bargain.
Yeah, right, Matt.
You okay?
You gonna make it? All right. Go ahead, Ray. Continue.
No, that's it. That's what I got. Bounce backs and bargains.
All right, Kev, what do you got for parlays or anything you want to? Any bets? Kev there? Is Kev there? I can't even see him.
No, he's not here.
All right, Matt, what do you got for any parlays you're looking into?
Matt's out too.
It's just me and you, huh?
Yeah.
All right, Ray. Well, let me tell you what I went with.
Uh,
I did. I like the Saints giving 3.5, Cincy +1, Raiders +6, Bills -3. My bomber for the day would be, and I put $10 on this. So obviously all these teams would have to lose. I mean, have to win. Oh God, did I just say lose? They'd all have to win for me to come through. But my bombers, meaning my upsets of the week, will be these following 6 teams: Cincy, the Raiders, the Colts, the Vikings, the Titans, and the Jets. So if you put a 6-team parlay for the Vikings, the Titans, the Jets, the Colts, Raiders, and Cincy, $10 wins you $4,700. That's my bomber. I think those 6 teams have a chance of winning the games that they're in. Matt, what's your favorite picks for the day?
I already have the Raiders and New Orleans in a parlay. I love that parlay. I actually did a 9-team parlay because I really like a lot of the games today. Will it hit? Who knows? But I did a $4 parlay to win a G. There's a lot of games to like this week. I was hit out 11 in my spreads, but in my parlays I missed. So it's all about the ones you like the most and putting them together with the right ones. I think that's the toughest part, is putting together the ones that you like, but you got to get better at the ones that you like the most to put them together. I think to get today, it's the Raiders and New Orleans. I think New Orleans defense is just too much.
See, I have Raiders, New Orleans, Cincy, and the Bills. One of my parlays. Those I like those. I like those 4 teams. Kev, what do you got for teasers or any kind of parlay?
Today, for my top 4 before I get knocked off: Patriots, Bills, Niners, Chiefs are the 4 that I would go on record with. But there's a ton of good teasers today. I put a 4-team teaser in already, but you got you go Broncos, Patriots. Those are, once you tease them down 6 points, those are both even. Seahawks, it's teased down to 0. And who the hell's the last one?
Tampa?
No,
Green Bay.
No, Green Bay's 13. Sorry, it's so Broncos, Patriots, Seahawks. Those 3, we'll leave it at 3. So I had a 4th one, but those 3 are perfect. Tease any combination of those 3, whoever you like the most, but you can tease them all down to a pick, and I think you'll make some money there. So I already did that, but hopefully some of the people can still get those numbers.
I'm calling for a bunch of upsets this week. I really do. I think there's going to be a bunch of upsets. I think that again, I think the Raiders beat Pittsburgh. I think Minnesota State's
Pittsburgh.
Yeah, that's the other one.
Yeah, Pittsburgh was the other one because you could tease Pittsburgh down to 0. Sorry.
Well, so I really like Cincy. There's a lot of teams. I mean, I even like the Jets today against the Patriots in the sense that I don't know. Both teams are kind of unknowns, right? Both have rookie quarterbacks. You really don't know much about these 2 teams. And the Jets are at home. I think the Paperboy maybe has a great game. Like I said, my bombers are Cincy, Raiders, Colts, Jets, Vikings, Titans. Those are all the 6 teams I think that could be upsets. What do you guys want to wrap it up with, Ray? Any last words?
No, I would just say another running back that I like today. 2 running backs. I like Eli Mitchell for the Niners. I think he's going to carry the rock today. We already talked about him. Another guy for the Jets, sleeper Ty Johnson. That backfield is going to be messy, but I think when the smoke clears, I think it's going to be Ty Johnson.
Matt, any last words?
I disagree. I mean, maybe today it's Ty Johnson, but I think over the long run, you're going to see Michael Carter take the reins on that backfield. But I got the Jets not getting blown out today, but they scored 15 points last week. Kid came back, which showed scrappiness. But, we all know what Belichick does to rookie QBs, but he also assassinates rookie coaches. I don't know how they're going to stop Corey Davis. I think Corey Davis has a nice day. They're not, Corey Davis brutally destroyed Stephon Gilmore. J.C. Jackson's a great corner, but still, he was beat out on a lot of plays down the field last week. I think look for Corey Davis to have a good day, but I don't think it's going to be enough for the Jets.
Can I ask one question?
Yeah.
Ray, is your T-shirt made of a liquid?
Like that? Yeah,
You know what's funny, King? I was going to
What's
say
in water?
when he went on his rant with all his plays that are going to do good, we all seen The Last Dragon, right?
Yeah.
That's not his shirt. He's got the glow. I don't want to mess with
Listen,
him.
if you remember The Last Dragon, and if you remember the main character, right? Brother Ray looked like the main character when Brother Ray had a full head of hair. So
When I
Ray
had the
would
afro,
be,
maybe,
he
yeah.
would be Bruce Leroy, right? Because that's what the guy's name was, and the other guy was the Shogun of Harlem. Show enough.
Show
The Shogun of Harlem. That was such a great movie. The way that it
Great
ends,
movie.
he's like, "Who's got the glow? Who's got the glow?" And I am. And then that was awesome. Thanks for bringing that movie up, Matt. How are we gonna watch
Absolutely.
it? Kev, any last word?
Well, last words.
There it is.
There it is.
Got him!
I'm
Get
gonna
all
say
that?
just to jump on Kev really quick. Him saying that you shouldn't take other people in the Carolina offense. He's gonna get hurt eventually if they keep giving it to what's his face?
C-Mac.
Yeah,
Christian McCaffrey. Absolutely. I
I
agree.
see those wide receivers coming in later in the season. So if you're in a keeper league, I would not listen to what Kev said about that because I think it's going to change as the season goes, just due to injuries. So I would hold on to what's his name, the rookie, Terrence Marshall, right? He's going to come through for Carolina. It's going to take some time. All right, I'm going to wrap it up. Is Kev again? Kev, really quick before we lose you, do you have anything you want to say?
Yeah, you got to watch the spreads. They move really fast. The reason why I missed Pittsburgh as a teaser leg is because they moved under 6. Just during the show, they went from 6 to 5.5. So again, you're getting Vegas money. Vegas money is pouring in, which
They're listening to us.
Kevin, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to tease the Raiders up. If you feel like the Raiders could potentially keep that game close, tease them to 12.5.
And my principals will not allow me to endorse John Gruden in any way, shape, or form. He's on the same list with Zach Taylor and Cliff Kingsbury.
I gotta tell you, right? John Gruden has been sloppy, but last week he proved it with a big win over the Ravens. Ravens were in the game, but he did good.
That's true.
All right. Brother Ray and I are heading to a barbecue where I think it's expected that we're going to drink a lot. So wish us luck on that. Because tonight, Kev, if you've been looking at the bottom of the screen, we have the owner of the Hinsdale House and cast member on Ghost Finders, Daniel Claes, Klaes, Claus. Kev doesn't know. We go off. Ray, with your liquid T-shirt, is it Klae? Clay? His last name was Claes?
Who's Clay?
Did you see it come through?
Who are we talking about?
The guy tonight, the guest tonight on Paranormal. Either way, tune in tonight at 7:00 for our Paranormal show. It's going to be a really, really good one. I apologize on mangling the guy's last name, but it's going to be fun. Hopefully, I won't be too soused, as they say, for the show. But then again, that might add something to it because you never know. Right? You never know. All right, wrapping it up. We just gave you some winners. We gave you some picks. We told you who to go pick. We told you who to sit, who to start. Thank you for tuning in. Kev, I'm going to wrap it up. Glad you're here, the wrap up. So, for the often disappearing genius, Kev, for In His Car, Mastradamus, for the liquid T-shirt, Brother Ray, me, Mike Lepre, and my Miami Vice tank top. This was Legit Fantasy Football. Thank you all for watching. Stay tuned tonight, 7:00 Paranormal, and then Wednesday's wrestling and Bar Fangul after that at 8. Thursday's going to be our next football show at 7 to 8. We're rocking. We're rolling. We got a million podcasts going. People want more. We're going to try to deliver. Thank you all for watching.